Jason, Kyle, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us. Come on. Just wrapping up our trip, 3 days. And the big takeaway here is I never travel any place just to see one person. So when you sales guys are out there traveling, you need to then try and find 1 or 2 or 3 other people to see.
The commodity manager of Electrolux wanted me to text her. That was her preferred method of contact. She was getting 200 emails a day. She said, just text me. This was 5 years ago. I'm like, okay. Literally could get her every time.
What's up, guys? Kyle Milan here with Manufacturing Tribe TV. Today we're at MD&M Minneapolis show.
You're always going to remember that person that was different than everybody else. So let's talk standing out and being unique.
We're back with another episode. We've increased some of our production value, so hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Brett's got a question. How segmented do you make the emails every 2 to 4 weeks? Are you sending to the broad group of contacts or do you customize?
I think that you could do it both ways, but I think in general, everybody needs to see your content. Everybody needs to see something that you're creating and something that you can provide value to.
You can tell a story a whole lot faster in a 3-minute video than you can in a 14-page article or 10 2-page articles.
Everything's about brand awareness and content right now, and it will continue to be that. So focus on producing some sort of content, and if you're selling B2B, which I'm assuming most people here are, focus on LinkedIn.
Number one, we do not charge for this stuff. I put all of my content out there for free. Send it to somebody that you feel may get some value out of it, and also engage. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. We'll get to all of the comments after the break. Those comments mean the world to us because it shows that you guys care. So don't just sit there and watch, but please engage and hit those thumbs on LinkedIn. What is up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan, and it is time for another episode of live Q&A with me. For those of you that are new to the content, we push this content out on LinkedIn, on YouTube channel where I have over 250 videos. Also, the content goes out onto a podcast called Technical Sales and Marketing. Please check all those areas out. Make sure that you subscribe if you aren't already. And just to give a rundown of the types of content we create, it's all about technical sales, sales engineering, and industrial marketing for the most part. So we've got 2 shows during the week. Mondays are live Q&A where we take questions from you guys, typically, from you guys sending them to askkyle@mfgtribe.com. And we take those questions, we throw them up on the screen. I answer them live. Most of the time, I don't get to know the questions ahead of it. And then also on this live, you guys ask questions, leave comments. As long as we have enough time, we go through those as well. So whether you're viewing this on YouTube or viewing it on LinkedIn, give us some love, show some hearts, ask some questions, and we will get to them as fast as possible. Sometimes we even went like 50 minutes because the comments were so lengthy. But if we don't get to your question, then we will pull it into the next week's show, or you can just come back Wednesday and ask it if you want. So without further ado, Nick is going to throw the first question out there. From Chase, how do I convince my reluctant boss that we should be creating video content and sharing it on LinkedIn? All right. So like this is a problem with, senior leadership in industrial and manufacturing is change, right? They don't want to change. Just really the industrial sector in general is all about, they've been doing things a certain way for so long. Something new comes around. It takes years and tons of people telling them like, you should do this before they finally say, all right, fine, I'll do it. So in this person's situation, they're trying to convince their boss. Sometimes, man, you just got to show them the way, right? You just got to prove it to them. Some of these senior leadership guys are like, they won't say it, like do it and then prove it to me that it works. You just got to take it upon yourself to do it and prove it to them that it works. So I would start with something super simple. Don't go and ask them if you can spend, $1,200 on a DSLR kit with a decent lens to shoot content and then edit it and all that stuff. I would say stupidly simple. Right? So take your phone, go out to your shop floor, go out to your company, wherever you're at, shoot some content. Ideally, you would like do it like first person to where it's kind of like selfie mode. And I told somebody to do this. Who was it that I told to do this years ago? I forget her name now, and she's going to kill me. But you want to first person shoot it like selfie style and be like, hey guys, Chase with blah, blah, blah company, just doing a quick tour of the shop to see what's going on this week. see what we got going on today, and just do panning shots of what your process is, panning shots of creating stuff, shipping stuff out. If you're in the foreground of it, have it behind you to start off, then maybe switch it to like your POV, and just show people some stuff and then post it on LinkedIn, right? And then use some hashtags that are relevant. So the thing with hashtags on LinkedIn is that you do not want to just be like hashtag, your company name, hashtag, like whatever it is that you do, whatever process you do, because you have to look to see how many people are actually following that hashtag. If I did hashtag MFG tribe and there's like 4 followers, that's going to give me no exposure. So you have to do something like manufacturing, your industry, the products that you serve, and just look it up. Go to LinkedIn search, put hashtag whatever you're thinking, look at how many followers are to that. And you should probably have about 10 hashtags in each of your posts so that way people can see it that aren't following you. So take that super short, quick video. Don't even edit it. Don't even break it down. Don't even add text to the screen. I think you can do that when you upload it natively into LinkedIn. They've got some sort of editing software you can add text to it. But I would do that. Do it once. You're going to get some people that like it, especially if you're on the camera. People are like, dude, this guy's or girl's putting themselves out there. This is raw, uncut. I like to see this. People like to see that behind the scenes stuff. Put your face on it, talk to the camera a little bit, show some panning shots, and post it. Then do the same thing 2 days later. Then do the same thing on that 2 days after that. Do it for a couple of weeks and look at the comments that you get, the engagement that you get. Try and show anything creative, anything that you're doing. And then once you've proven it for a couple of weeks, like, is that going to result to an RFQ? No, it's not. Not instantly. But is it going to result into more people knowing who your brand is? Yeah, it's going to start the process. And then go to your boss and be like, look, I've been posting these for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, whatever it is. And I'm getting some good comments. I'm connecting with some people that are potential customers. I've even gotten 2 meetings from posting this stuff. My brand's getting out there more. And then just prove it to them. That's all you have to do is put yourself out there, do the stuff, prove it to them. And usually that's when they'll shut up and be like, okay, let's look at taking this to the next level. But do what you can on your own first. Don't even ask them for permission. Just do it. That's what I've always done. Is I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to see the results of it. And then once I have something quantifiable, I'm going to go to the ownership team and be like, look, I tried this. It worked. I think we need to do it at a bigger scale. Here's how we do it at a bigger scale. Here's the person I want to use to do it at a bigger scale. And then they typically get bought in. So hopefully that answers the question. What else we got from Anonymous? I'm trying to convince senior leadership that even though trade shows are back, which they are, it's not giving us a good ROI. How do I carefully try and present this? Similar to the first question, right? Old school leadership, old school guys. You veterans know where, you know that I'm talking to you. Guys that have been doing it for 20 years, 30 years, 15 years. It used to work a certain way before, and then they want to stick with that way. The only way to do it is to show them data. Look, we spent $15,000 on this trade show, or $25,000 or $125,000 on this trade show. Here's the opportunities that we got from it. Here's the foot traffic we saw. Here's the leads that we got from it. It's not like what it used to be 10 years ago. You're not getting 20, 30, 40, 50 leads a show unless you're some massive company that spent $2.6 million on their trade show booth because they've got big equipment and it's a huge corner lot. Even then, it's typically not ROI positive. I would say from a trade show standpoint, I've talked about this a ton on the shows. If there's a local show or something where it's like you have to go because that's just the cost of doing business, you have to show up. Your number one competitors are going to be there, or competitors 1 through 10 are there. Everybody in the space goes to this show. That's just the cost of doing business. You need to be there too, so that way people don't necessarily forget about you. But if you go into it thinking like, I'm going to spend 15, 20,000 and get 3 opportunities back, they're going to equal 2 million. It's probably not going to happen. So just go there with the data. Let them do it their way. Let them say, all right, here's the trade shows are back. We're going to do these 6 trade shows. Do those 6 trade shows. Do those 2 trade shows, whatever it is. Then go back to them and be like, look, here's the data. I've broken it down. Here's our cost with it. Here's the opportunities we got from it. Here's the status of those opportunities. Here's new customers we got, quoting opportunities, whatever it is. Here's customers landed over that 2 months, 6 months, 12-month period, and go back to them with that and be like, look, next year, or maybe you've already done 3 trade shows this year already. You're like, those trade shows later this year in the fall, like, I don't think it's worth our investment, but you have to come with a solution. You can't come to people with a problem without already having some sort of solution. So I don't want to spend the $60,000 I have left in my budget at the end of this year on these trade shows. Instead, I would like to spend that this way so I can reach those people quicker, so I can do some LinkedIn advertising, hire a digital marketing agency like MFG Tribe, have them push us out there, push the brand out, create some content, articles, video, whatever it is. Come to them with solutions. Be like, I don't want to spend that money. I want to spend it here. I think we can get to these people quicker, and we don't have to wait for them to come to the trade show, because who knows if they're actually going to show up, number one. Number two, are they actually going to stop in our booth? So go to them with, we tried it your way. Here's the results. I think we should do it this way. Here's the results I'm expecting. I've already talked to these people. They verified that those are the results that I should expect. So I'm asking you for permission to do this. Whether or not they do it, if they say no, that doesn't mean no forever. That means no, not right now. Maybe 2022, you finish doing the trade shows. Then when you're budgeting for 2023, you're like, hey, look, we tried this again for the whole year. You didn't want to stop at the end of the year. We did it for the whole year. Here's what I want to do differently in 2023. Here's how I want to shift my budget. And typically then they can be convinced that that's not the best place for them to spend their money. Or bring in a partner like MFG Tribe, and we will tell you data, because we have numerous clients in different manufacturing verticals, to say, here's what all of our clients are seeing. Here's the ROI they're seeing on our stuff and the way that we do it and our strategy. And this is what you guys should do too. And then sometimes it takes a third party to convince them, or to just really emphasize what you're saying out there. Next one, third one for the show. I want to apply for a sales engineer job, but I don't have any sales experience. How do I stand out from all of the other applicants? So let's say this: if you have no sales experience and you have no industrial experience, it's almost impossible, right? Almost impossible, because nothing is impossible. But let's just say there's two scenarios. One, you have no sales experience, no industrial experience, or two, you have industrial experience, just not in sales. Regardless of the two different scenarios, the strategy and the tactics that I would say are still going to be the same. So number one, you have to understand how you're going to sell, so that way that potential employer knows that they're not going to take somebody completely green, whether you're from the industry or not. You're green in sales, meaning new. Take somebody completely green and teach them everything. Then your training cost is going to increase. Then the time that the salesperson is going to have to spend with you increases. And so they don't want to have to do that. If they can have somebody that already knows it, that's the best case scenario, right? I think most people would agree with that. So you have to go in there with the mindset like, all right, I know all this stuff about technical sales. You've watched all of my content. You've gone to technicalsalesu.com. You've signed up for TSU's courses to understand technical sales, how to do it, the strategy, all that stuff. You completed that course. You know what you need to do. The only way to stand out in that is going to be present them with a solution, like state the facts. Look, I understand that I don't have experience in your industry, or I don't have any direct sales roles experience, but here's what I know about your industry. Here's how I would tackle the problems. Here's the things that I would do in the first 4 weeks to 4 months working on the job. I kind of covered this last week a little bit, and maybe that's why this question got brought up. But if you're new to the industry, or new to sales, or new at a company, if you go to them, whether it's in the interview process or just in the cover letter because you're trying to get attention, here's the strategy that I'm going to break down. A lot of times salespeople don't want to give their strategy away, because it's like, I'm giving away my ideas for free. But if you're trying to break into this industry and break into this role, you don't care, right? You got nothing else to lose. So say, look, step one I'm going to do is I'm going to go after current customers if you give me any. I'm going to try and upsell them or get new business from them. Step two, what I'm going to do at the same time I'm doing step one is I'm going to go through everybody that you've quoted over the last 2 to 3 years. And I'm going to reach out to them wherever they are in my geographic area, my region, whatever I'm in control of. Step number 3, I'm going to build out my network at the same time I'm doing 1 and 2. I'm going to build out my network on LinkedIn with connecting to people that could be potential customers that are either have job title or job function. Step number 4, I'm going to start creating content. You don't have a content team? I'm going to start creating myself. Videos of the shop, videos of myself, talking about ways that we've solved problems. I'm going to start sharing that stuff, posting it. Like, the list goes on and on and on. I've got the strategy broken out in so many videos that it's very simple to do. You just have to have the right attitude and the hustle to be able to do it. So that's how I would stand out initially on the cover letter. Now, to stand out even further, if you're applying from LinkedIn, everybody's just hitting that LinkedIn easy apply. What I would do is take it a step further and say, all right, this company has this job post. I'm going to first, before I apply to that job post, I'm going to find the people in sales, in marketing, in ownership, in leadership, whatever it is. I'm going to send connection requests to all of them, right? And you're going to do that at scale. Find a bunch of different companies in the industry, a bunch of different places for you to connect with those people, sales, marketing, operations, whatever it is. Connect with them, then hit the apply. Even connect with the HR people. Like, they're more than willing to accept your connection. And I would put it to where your LinkedIn profile is updated with your experience. Touch on the successes you've had in sales or other roles that support sales and why you want to get into sales in the first place as a direct role, but connect with all of them. Because then they're like, oh yeah, Joe, Susie, whoever it is, they connected with me. They're applying for the job. And you can even put that in your message. Like, look, I saw you guys are looking for a salesperson. I love what you guys do. I'd really like to join your team. And I wanted to connect with you before I send the application over. Then that's how you're going to stand out. Most people aren't going to do that. Most salespeople are just going to go through and apply, or they've got a recruiter and the recruiter is sending people to them. So step one would be you need to connect with them on LinkedIn and then shoot them a message if you want. Step two would be find recruiters that have specialties in that area, whether it's plastics, metals, robotics, whatever. Google search it and see where are the recruiters, because that person might be using recruiters while also posting the job on LinkedIn or Indeed. So try and get in the recruiter standpoint to go after and be like, look, this is what I know. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to crush it for them. And then let the recruiter do their job to pitch you, promote you, and say, you really need to talk to this guy or girl. They've really got a good head on their shoulders. They've got this great strategy. I think it'll work, so on and so forth, and do it that way. You have to stand out. You can't just say, if everybody's just applying and you want to stand out, you can't do what everybody else is doing. You need to do what they're doing and then enhance on top of that. All right, Nick, looks like we got a bunch of questions coming through. I appreciate the questions, guys. Please share this. Hit the like button. I like seeing those thumbs on LinkedIn. In a crowded, here's my content world where everyone is doing webinars and marketing collateral, do webinars work? I feel like webinars work, but I would change it up a little bit. So like the whole theory behind webinars is like, I'm going to do a webinar and invite people to come to that webinar. And then they subscribe to it. I've got their email address. I know who they are. And then I'm going to give the webinar. Why not take it a step further? Why not just do a live, right? Why not just, because you can invite people that you're connected with through LinkedIn to your live. So just like this, if I wanted to give a presentation, I would do that. And you can share slide decks up there and I could go through a presentation and here's my live webinar. The thing about it is that if you're not connected with people or you don't know who they are, it's live. And if people are liking, commenting, sharing, then other people get notified. Or if they're on LinkedIn, they say, hey, Joe is live, and they click on it and then they join in. I would open it up. I feel like webinars have always traditionally been like, they solved a problem at that time, right? 5 to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was like, oh my God, you're going to give a presentation through video to a large group of people. It's not in person. What is that called? That's called a webinar instead of a seminar. It's a webinar. Okay, but that's evolved. Like you don't still have to do that. If you're trying to control the group of people that you allow to that, I feel like you can do that. You wouldn't want to do it live, but you could do it through a broadcast system. As long as that's your intent. And I don't want everybody to see this, just a small group. But really, if you're trying to go after omnipresence, right, you're saying that people are already like, it's noisy out there, right? Because people are doing videos, they're doing marketing collateral, they're posting stuff. How do you stand out? Do it live. If you're an industrial or manufacturing and you do it live, you will stand out because there's not many people out there right now that are going live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, and producing valuable content. What else we got, Nick? That's it. Just a bunch of haze coming through. All right, guys, we're going to do, oh wait, hang on a minute. Let me see. Kyle Wolf, dude, you were on last week and my interview went great, by the way. Headed to the next step. So on last week's live, Kyle Wolf said, dude, I've got a sales engineer interview. And I talked for, I don't even know, 5 to 7 minutes saying, dude, here's how you're going to crush it. Because I get those questions a lot, right? Like, I don't know the questions that they're going to ask. I haven't done it in forever. But I'm glad to see that Mr. Wolf made it to the next step. And everybody on the live last week sent positive vibes. We're like, dude, you're going to crush it. Go get him. And he did. So, Mr. Wolf, when you get to that next step, after that is done, I expect you to come back to this live format and be able to give us another update. So we're going to take a quick, short break, 90 seconds. We'll be back. Leave your comments in the comment section because we're going to answer them now live, and we'll be right back in 90 seconds. What if they don't currently have a problem with a process or system? Will the approach still be effective? If they don't have a problem, man, you can't solve it. So if you go into a sales call and you're like, hey, I want to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Do you guys have any issues with it? They're like, nope. Don't sell the unsellable. Is homepage content the most important? So that brings up a good point. What you need to look at in your Google Analytics is your top landed pages. And the top landed pages are what page do people first see? And we always look at the top 10. And so is homepage usually the first of the top 10 landed on pages? Yes, it is usually, but it typically only represents no more than 50% of the total traffic that lands on that page first. Is only about 50% go to the homepage. 30, 45 minutes a day working on building out your network. And then I would spend 30 to 45 minutes a day engaging with your network, assuming that you have deals already in the pipeline, current customers, you have meetings during the week, stuff like that, where it's pulling out your time to where you only have a few hours left over. Then that's how I'd split it. Half your time focused on building your network, the other half of the time focused on engaging. And we're back. See, 90 seconds. It wasn't even that bad. We always get comments like that. I mean, like, too many commercials, too long of an intro. All right, so we got some more comments to throw up. LinkedIn user, sometimes it doesn't come through. I always say this. That was from Alan Weiss. Hi, Kyle, first-time viewer. Alan, I appreciate you joining. I appreciate you sharing this out there with anybody that you know. Hopefully you get some value out of this. These are great ideas. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that, man. Guerrilla marketing. Yeah, guerrilla. See, like, I hate that phrase, guerrilla marketing, right? But that's essentially what it is. I see it as just like marketing. This is what works today, is be everywhere all at the same time. And I think, let me throw one up there, Nick. I saw one others. Yep, there you go. My company is reluctant to show too much because of proprietary issues, but quick snippets like you're describing could be a great way to great gateway to more. Yeah. So if you've got proprietary issues, if you've got IP issues, you want to show, you can't show them everything, but you want to show them enough. Quick snippets. I mean, you have control over the focal view that you're seeing, right? Zoom in on something to where it shows a little bit, but doesn't show everything. We'll go from the shipping dock standpoint. If you've got parts going out the door in boxes, focus on your logo, your brand. It's less about, like, you're not going to teach, unless you're doing like a live educational type of thing where you're going to teach somebody, which I 100% think you should do as an industrial company. You can just go from standpoint of like showing them things that are relevant and showing something that's interesting. Even if you can't show the whole picture and the full view, you can at least show them little things. Even if it's you in front of something that's like a control cabinet behind you, they're not seeing your process or anything like that, but it's relevant because you're in an industrial setting or you're in a manufacturing setting or something like that. That's what I would definitely do. If anyone's in IoT and SaaS sales, let me know. I'm hiring. Yeah, there you go. That's what it's all about, man. Giving opportunities to people, right? Like, LinkedIn is the best place for you to find a network and get new people to come into your ecosystem, new applicants, right? Like, their entire profile's up there, their resume's up there. That's the best place to find people. So Greta's giving you positive thoughts, Mr. Wolf. You're going to crush it, dude. Congratulations to him. There we go. Thank you to me. Whoever said that, that was Alan. I appreciate it, Alan. So guys, like I said, we come live a couple times a week, multiple different shows that we do. Everything's at noon Central Standard Time. Mondays are for Q&A. Wednesdays, I talk a little bit more details into the strategy or the tactics. that I think work for industrial manufacturing companies that we know works from MFG Tribe standpoint, where we're helping companies doing this at scale, and stuff changes all the time. And there's strategies that change all the time because it all depends on what type of return are we getting. So something that works this month is not changing as frequently on a month-to-month basis. Anybody that tells you that is crazy. But stuff that happens this month might not be the same strategy you should have in 6 months, 9 months, or a year. So every week we come answering those questions, talking about topics in depth. As always, guys, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, go to YouTube and subscribe, turn on notifications so you get notified every single time that we go live and every single time we post videos, because there's videos out there that we do not show live that we just post to the YouTube channel. So guys, with that being said, we will end out this show and I will see you on the next one.